these guys that he doesn't talk a lot in practice. He's very attentive. He asks good questions. Like I said, he just brings energy. He likes playing the game. He likes practicing. And you look for guys like that.
Mike, you are keeping kind of percentages per se about how often you get off the field when you're in nickel as opposed to maybe other defenses?
Well, I think Coach Minner keeps up with all that. My job's to coach the guys to prevent them, so the percentages are down of an offense being successful.
Cody said that you recruited him to Marshall. What did you like about him when you first saw him? What attracted you to him as a player?
Well, number one, I'd recruited a teammate of his the year before that was a very, very, very good football player. And I recognized Cody Quinn, and everybody around was recruiting in Big Ten schools, Big East schools, everyone. But because of the connection I had with his prior teammate, got my foot in the door with Cody. And then when I came here, I mentioned there was a guy that we were looking at, and Coach Phillips said, "Hey, give it your best shot," and went up there, and things came together.
With Steve's teams, you have to try to disguise your coverage if you can. How hard is that to do, though, when you're playing, like you said, 3 true freshmen or a really young secondary?
Well, they're hearing the same thing the older guys have, and like I said, the older guys have had 15 opportunities of me being their coach more than the younger guys, because I wasn't here last year, and they had 15 practices of spring ball, and since that time, they've all heard the same thing.
Speaking of young guys, Zach Blaylock was on the depth chart for the first time this week. Is he a guy you're still considering playing at this point?
Well, if a guy can help us and not just run down on a kickoff team, if a guy can contribute and help us win games, yeah, we're going to use him.
The guys like Cody Quinn are, you can tell that they're excited for that opportunity, especially a lot of these young guys on defense. How do you keep that up in a string of tough SEC games?
Well, I think anytime a young man, whether it's SEC, ACC, 1AA, a guy getting the opportunity to go out there and compete. That's what it's all about, and him being given that opportunity. And like I've told them, you're playing the very best in the country, but let's remember this, you're the best in the country also, or you wouldn't be here.
Now, there's Coach Minner has always talked about the age gap on the defense. What do you all do to help close that gap and keep the communication open between those guys?
Well, the older guys, I tell them, because of experience, there's no substitute for experience. And as I'd mentioned, we had 3 true freshmen on the field in the back end the other day. And, it was a young guy trying to help a young guy, and you'd rather have an older guy that knows the checks a little better helping the younger guys. But, in this system, like I mentioned a minute ago, they've heard my coaching, the older guys, 15 practices more than the younger guys. So I continue and hope to continue to see them improve each and every day of practice.